this video, we're gonna check out Atlanta's largest green space in the entire city, the new Westside Park. And that's coming up right now. Hey all, welcome back to the Living in Atlanta YouTube channel. I'm super excited for today's video. I got some new equipment. We're in a new park. We've got a drone. It's gonna be a great video and you're gonna check out one of the coolest new amenities in Atlanta. So if it's your first time on my channel, welcome. Living in Atlanta is all about helping you find your place in the city, whether you're relocating here from out of town or from another place in the state. If you're looking to buy or sell a home in the Atlanta area, we would love to hear from you. You can book an appointment with me directly using the Calendly link in the description below. You can give us a call, text, email, whatever you want to do, but if you need help in the Atlanta area, we would love to hear from you. All right, so let's get into the video. I'm super excited today. So the Westside Park has just opened and I've just explored it for the last couple days. Got some great gimbal footage, great drone footage. We're gonna talk about the park and you're gonna see some of the most breathtaking green spaces the city has to offer. Now, if you're a longtime watcher to my channel, you've heard me talk about this park before in many videos. If you go way back, especially for the up and coming neighborhoods and for some of the real estate investors, we've been talking about the Grove Park area, the west side of Atlanta, around Bellwood Quarry, as it was formerly known, and it's around this large green space, what now is known as the Westside Park. So I've been talking about this from the investment perspective because this park is going to have a massive impact on the surrounding communities, and that's really important to know if you're buying a house for yourself or if you're buying a house for investment. So there's been a lot of speculation about, what this park would look like, what it would entail, and the developments going on around it. So we're going to explore the park today. We're going to talk about what it is, where it is, what the future of it looks like. But as always, real quick, for those of us who are not as familiar with this area in Atlanta, let's hop on the map real quick and just look to see exactly where we'll be exploring today. Let's go check it out. All right, so we've got the map pulled up, and this is actually a very handy tool that I'm using. It is beltline.org/map. Really helpful if you want to know more about Atlanta and more about the Beltline. You see we've got 285 here, but if we zoom in, we already have a map of the Beltline. And this website is really great. You can see, for instance, where things have been paved, where they have not been paved. We can look at all of the access points. Okay, so a lot of information here. And even if you wanted to know more about MARTA, this is the entirety of the heavy rail for the MARTA transportation system. So a lot of good information on this site. For right now, we'll just kind of take a look at what's paved. So you can see West End area, Piedmont Park area. We've talked about those. Definitely check them out. But you've got the park right here in Grove Park, which is where we're looking today. So you see the massive green space. And actually the entrance comes off the north side, 1660 Johnson Road. So this is where you'll want to come in for the entrance. However, I'm sure in the future there will be multiple access points, multiple parking lots. Remember, this is not a completed project. They've just opened up the first phase of it. So while you can enjoy it now, there's going to be a lot more to enjoy in the future. So you can see you will have access from this park to the Beltline, heading either south towards the West End or head north towards Buckhead. There's also Proctor Creek Greenway in this area, which is another great trail to walk. And there will be an access point from Proctor Creek to the Beltline connecting to the Westside Park. So a lot of access points between all the trails and green spaces around Atlanta. But this is where we're looking at today in terms of how the area is. It's really a mixed bag. Historically, the surrounding areas like Bankhead and English Avenue are higher crime, higher poverty areas with higher drug traffic that you want to be careful of. But that is changing, and a lot of the other neighborhoods surrounding this area are great, and the values of the homes are improving. And that has to do in large part with the Beltline. So all of these neighborhoods adjacent to the Beltline all are being transformed by the Beltline itself and by all the additional projects that the Beltline is spurring on. Now, one thing to note finally with Westside Park is it's going to be a little different to Piedmont Park in the sense that Piedmont Park is in a commercial district, it's in an arts district. There are tons of restaurants and bars immediately around Piedmont Park. That really won't be the case around Westside Reservoir Park. Not that there's nothing to do, but there's not a lot of popular amenities in terms of food and drink around the park. So you'll probably want to head either that way or to the south, maybe to Lee and White, if that's what you're looking for at the end of your journey to explore the park. But gorgeous park, great area. This is also where Microsoft is buying up large tracts of land for their new campus. So as you can imagine, there's a lot of changes in store for these areas. But now you know where Westside Park is. Really in the heart of the city, very close to downtown, and available for all Atlantans to enjoy. All right, so now you have a better idea of where we're talking about. So I'm actually in the park right now. I've been exploring all day, and I'm really excited. The green spaces in Atlanta are probably one of my favorite things about living here. And now we have not only another green space, but the biggest green space. In fact, when it's completed, Westside Park will be over 100 acres larger than Piedmont Park, which is a monster itself. So this will be the largest green space in Atlanta. It's really incredible to think about adding such an amazing amenity here. And as you saw from the map, we're not far off in the distance away from the city. We're in the city. We're right off the Beltline as well. And there will be connections, the West Side Trail, not only from the Beltline, but from the Proctor Greenway, which is adjacent to the Beltline towards the west. So there are going to be multiple connections to this park from other trails and green spaces around the city. So the open portion of the park is gorgeous. There's a beautiful drive-in and it's really done up very nicely. Now it's important to remember only a portion of the park is currently open. The entire acreage is not available to explore. It's going to be opened up in phases, but currently the way that you access the entrance to the park is off Johnson Road, and I'll put the address in the description. So if you're in Atlanta and you want to check out the park, you know exactly where to go. But there's a lot of people here already. On the weekends, it's actually been packed, especially with people wanting to check out what it's all about. During the week, much more calm. So one thing to note is there's not a lot of shade right now in this park. If you're coming to do more of a picnic deal, layout, there's not a lot of cover, so definitely do bring an umbrella because you will be baking in the sun like I am right now. So right now there's plenty of parking. It's a very nice facility. There are restrooms. There's a beautiful playground for kids to play, and there's multiple flat green spaces if you do want to lay out and have a picnic. And there's lots of trails, which is one of the best parts about this park, especially if you're in a bike. It's a very bike-friendly park. The bike lanes are installed going from Greenway to Greenway. Lots of space to walk, so great for a hike. And of course, walking around the quarry is absolutely gorgeous. You have the skyline of the city. You have the quarry, and it's just beautiful. I can't think of another green space in Atlanta where you have the trails, large green space, the playground, and then the setting. The quarry is absolutely gorgeous, and it makes for a beautiful hike or picnic. Now, when it's complete, this park is going to clock in at 280 acres, so it's an absolute monster. Like I said, 100 acres larger than Piedmont Park, and the reservoir itself is holding 2.4 billion gallons of water, and in an emergency situation will provide up to 30 days of drinking water for the city. Years ago, the mayor bought this land as a reserve, and they ended up actually drilling a 5-mile long, 10-foot wide tunnel from the Chattahoochee to the quarry to supply that backup drinking water. So not only is it a beautiful setting, but it's very practical and beneficial for the city if they should ever need additional drinking water. Of course, that means there's no option to get in this water because this is going to be backup drinking water for the city. So there are 2 overlooks in the park where you can walk up a bit, increase elevation, and get a gorgeous view not only of the quarry, but of the skyline in the background, so definitely check that out. And another huge bonus is that the entire park is ADA accessible, meaning if you're wheelchair bound, you can still get around everywhere in the park very easily. There are easy to read maps all over the park, and there are phones for emergency services if you need it. There are places to lock up your bike if you need to park it for a while. So the portion that's open right now, very well thought out, obviously very clean and organized, and so far just a fantastic amenity that a lot of Atlantans are enjoying right now. So it'll be really interesting to see how this park develops and how it impacts the surrounding neighborhoods. Now, the other important factor to this development, it's what's going on outside of the park and quarry area. Again, I've talked a lot about this in previous videos, especially the real estate investing ones. Originally, it was going to be a massive mixed-use development around the park. That project was started by Mark Teixeira and his ownership group. They had a lot of plans, but they actually sold it to Microsoft. And now what you're going to see in the surrounding areas is a massive Microsoft campus. You're going to see a lot of those types of workers in the area, and one would imagine it's going to have a massive impact on the economy and the housing in the Grove Park and Westside neighborhoods of Atlanta. If you're a first-time home buyer or a real estate investor or just someone who wants to buy in an appreciating area, it's hard to imagine coming to this park, seeing the plans for the future, and not imagining that in 10-20 years the neighborhoods in this area are going to be completely different from they are now. And I really only see one way for the values to go up in terms of the homes, and I really only see home values going up in this area for quite some time, mainly because of these amenities and because of the big companies making their presence known in this area. So hopefully you'll be able to get a sense from the drone footage just how massive this space is and will eventually be when it's complete. You can see the gorgeous skyline. The reservoir itself is absolutely gorgeous with the rock walls, and we actually got some footage of the water flowing out from the hole that we were talking about that was drilled coming in from the hooch. So absolutely gorgeous. I'd say right now it's a good park if you want to get exercise, whether bike or running. It's a fine park to do a picnic or hang out and read, but again, you don't have a lot of sun cover, so keep that in mind. If you have kids, beautiful playground, not too crowded, so definitely a good option if you have little ones as well. So the park is a bit more secluded, especially compared to Piedmont, where you're right in the middle of the city. You have a ton of restaurants, shops all around Piedmont Park. You don't really have that in Westside Park yet. I'm sure all the people here, the Microsoft campus, will spur economic development, businesses in the area, but right now it is set back a little bit. Even getting to the entrance to the park takes you a little bit out of the way, but once you're here, it's totally worth it. I highly recommend you check it out. Absolutely gorgeous and not too crowded right now. So that's really all I have for you. Hopefully you enjoy some of the stunning drone footage that I was able to capture so you can get excited about visiting this beautiful park. I'm super excited that Atlantans have a new amenity to enjoy, another green space, which is one of the best things about living in this area. So if you're in Atlanta and you haven't checked it out, you need to check out the Westside Park. If you're living in another state and you're gonna come to visit, I do think it's worth a trip. And if you're looking to live here, if you're looking to move in this area, if you're looking to buy a house, you want an area that's going to appreciate in terms of the value of real estate, you could do a lot worse than the Grove Park area, a lot of the west side of Atlanta and the neighborhoods I've talked about before. But having the largest green space, the largest park in the city, is going to have a massive impact on the surrounding neighborhoods, and it's going to give this city one more feather in its cap for amazing things to do and enjoy when you live or visit in Atlanta. So I hope you enjoyed that video. I'm gonna do much more drone footage, car footage, really trying to give you more of an immersive experience in what it's like to live in Atlanta. If you have a request for a topic or you wanna see more or less of something, feel free to comment below. Please like and tap that subscribe button. It really helps me a lot. And until my next video, I'll see you next time.